button. I'm gonna hit the go live button. Yes.
Am I going to be in the room or out the room?
When you're in the room because we're live.
Immediately as you come on. You're not bringing me in, right? Okay, just want to make sure.
We have a way to start stuff. People always wonder what happens before people go live.
Yes.
This is some of that.
Yes.
What happens before we go live, but it's always fun stuff. And this, I believe, is going to be a different Small Biz Bites today. So I'm going to play a little bit of music, and then we are going to get into the show.
I like this music to your page. That's your best soundtrack of all of your platforms.
Oh, we are not going to have that conversation because we're not going to talk about me today. We're not talking about me. But let me do this before we get into who you are and what have you. First of all, welcome everybody. I am Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. You are watching Small Biz Bites, and we are streaming live to LinkedIn and to YouTube. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube. On YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, either now or later, see, that's where I was going. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we do want to have an answer to today's question. Today's question it's about change. Like, how do you feel about change? Like, is change easy for you? That's today's question. Because we have Mr. Ron Foster of RonLouis Photos here with us.
Hello, Gwendolyn, and the family and the crowd of people that await our sound. And the sound of our voices.
I know, right? So before we get into what I like to do, I'm not going to do a fast five today. I am going to do the 3 truths and 1 lie. I'm going to do that one as our icebreaker today. Shout out to Serena, who is here. Hello, Serena. Good afternoon to you. Oh, she says, G and Ron, y'all look amazing. I almost grabbed a few photos to show the people that we were and still are a badass looking couple. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll put them in the community tab. Because when Ron and I would go out, we were stepping.
That's right. And I always say,
people were like,
this is my wife. They'd be like, what?
They were breaking their necks, people like. So, yeah. Thank you, Serena. Thank you. I am modest, believe it or not.
Yes, she is very modest. She always has a slice of humble pie in the morning.
Tanya is here. Hello and happy Tuesday. Tanya is here. Spencer B is in the building. Hello to you, sir. Hello to you. And of course, Tanya is sending those beautiful emojis to us. So, you ready, Ron?
I'm ready. I'm ready for you.
You got your 3 truths and 1 lie.
3 truths and 1 lie. Oh my goodness.
Would you have a whole bunch of lies and 1 truth? I mean, because we can do it that way too.
3 truths. Okay. 1, I love traveling.
Okay.
2, I love food. 3, I love sleep. And 1 lie. Ooh, I don't have a lie. I don't indulge in lies.
What's true and then what's a lie?
Yeah, what's a lie?
Oh my God, that's not how you play it.
I don't know what I was.
You're supposed to just give us a couple of facts about yourself that are true, and then one of them out of the 4 needs to be a lie.
You know how I'm a little slow there. Sorry. So I was supposed to just give you information.
Yes. Tell us. Okay, let's start it
Let's
over.
all over again. Okay.
All right, give us 4 facts about yourself. One of them has to be a lie.
Okay, so here's one truth. Here's one
Don't tell us that it's true or
scenario.
not. We have to
It
guess
doesn't matter which one is a
yes,
truth
just
or a
give
lie.
us the 4 facts.
Okay, here we go. So back in the day when I was growing up as a child in New York City, I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to take flight. I wanted to be that first Black astronaut to fly to the moon.
Okay.
Number 2. When I was in California, I was able to hang out with some beautiful Hollywood stars. And I thought I had an opportunity to become a movie star myself.
Okay.
Number 3. I love Italian food. Italian food makes me so happy. It's my comfort food place.
Right.
Number 4. I love cycling.
You love who?
I love cycling.
Okay.
I like getting on my bike in the evenings near the sunset so I can ride around the city, go down to the waterfront, and then take pictures of the sun setting.
Okay. All right. So, crowd, now that she says Ron is not a good liar, clearly I should have did fast 5. This is not the way it was supposed to go down, but I will roll. But I was like, wow, these all seem very true here. Like, I'm not understanding. But okay. So we got, you want to be an astronaut. You were out in California hanging with some stars, thought you could be a movie star yourself. You love Italian food, or you love cycling. So one of them is a lie.
One of these is a lie.
All right.
An intended lie, which I don't dwell in the lying industry or the lying sector of the world.
Well, I'm a Virgo, and Virgos can do some stuff, so I already know I keep mine ready. Okay, so Kimmy, hey, shout out to Kimmy, who is in here, and she says, well, that last one is true, so she's already, we're taking out cycling. I'm taking out cycling. I'm going to go ahead and say that's not it. I could see you wanting to be an astronaut. I can see that. So I gotta admit, I'm stuck between you wanting to be a movie star or loving Italian food. I'm not gonna lie to you right there. Okay, let's see what the crowd says. Tanya says, I feel Italian food. Like, Italian food is the lie? Is that what you're thinking? Never heard Ron talk about Italian food. I know, right? I'm like, ugh. All right, Ron, I am going to say that it is the California. Like, it's the California, is that the lie?
The California is a lie.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, it's like that Italian food. I was like, I don't know. Like,
I did go to California. I did stay in Hollywood. However, I just miss Halle Berry when she was at the restaurant and she disappeared, and I was like, "Oh, I miss Halle Berry," because she lived in South Hollywood, and so she just happened to not be there when I was going for breakfast that morning.
Huh. Look at you out there with highfalutin people. And shout out to Peggy. Peggy's here. She's like, is pizza Italian? You know, we should have thought about
Pizza
that.
Is Italian, and she knows how I feel. She knows how I feel about pizza.
Right. You did talk about pizza. I mean, I kind of knew that one, but
I can have pizza every day. Every day, again, all day.
Ron is not a good liar.
No, I'm not. I'm pretty much an honest. I'm a straight-laced kind of guy.
We're going to have to work some things out, sir. Because, okay, so like the way to do it is to, I mean, you were pretty close on the California one.
That was pretty good, though.
You take a real story and you just zhuzh it up a little bit.
Yes.
Like
Which
the
I
one that
did. I
I
did that with
will.
California.
You never been to California? What?
I did that. I juju
You did. You did
it
zhuzh it
up.
up. But that's what I mean. That's a pretty good one. I mean,
I
it was
jujed
good.
it
It was
up a
good.
little. Yeah.
We
I
will.
juju.
We will take it. And Gary Jackson is here. He says, "Good afternoon."
I see that Mr. G is in the building.
The G is in the building.
Gary Jackson.
I can't believe that we just had all of that. And I was like, wait a minute, why does all of this sound very much true? Like I'm not understanding. Am I missing it?
Now, when I was a kid, I did want to be an astronaut. I wanted to be the first Black astronaut.
Huh. So were you always a science person?
Yes, ever since I was a child. I knew all the stars of the solar system. I knew all the planets of the solar system. I knew most of the stars. I knew it's a reason why I ended up at aviation high school. The reason why I went to aviation high school is because I was preparing to go to the Naval Academy.
Oh.
Because most of the astronauts in the early of the astronaut program, NASA, went through the Navy. Most people thought they went through the Air Force, but they went through the Navy. So my roadmap was to become an officer in the Naval Academy, become a fighter pilot, and then become an astronaut.
I had no idea. I mean, for as long as we have been together, I am just, it is true about relationships. You can still learn something new about your partner.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no idea. Well,
Yeah.
I'm damned. Now, the cycling.
You know I'm a cyclist.
I know you're a cycler.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're a cycler. What is one of the longest distances you have cycled?
119 miles.
Seriously? I didn't know that either.
No, sorry, it was 122 miles, I think it is. It was from the George Washington Bridge to the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia.
Really? Now, when was this?
This was in 2016.
Oh.
The year that I decided to leave my job and become a photographer full time. That was one of my last big exploits, was to get on a bike and ride all the way down to Philadelphia from New York City.
How long did that take?
It took the whole day. It took we got together at 6 o'clock that morning.
Mm-hmm.
We arrived like at 8:30, 8 o'clock at night. So we had to pause and take some breaks, along the way. So it was about pretty much a 13-hour day.
I know people who cycle have all the things together. I don't really have glutes made for cycling. But I'm sure if I was going to go down that road, I would get myself together.
Oh yeah, you gotta have
to make sure that it would be.
You gotta have good glutes. The glutes must be tight and right.
Need the glutes to be, what I'm saying. Gary says, Mr. Foster, how the heck are you? Serena's like, oh yeah, I had no idea. Like that's commendable. It's admirable, actually. That's like,
as a matter of fact, in 2016, or was it 2015? I think it was either 2015 or 2016. I did 4 100+ mile rides in that 1 year.
Dude.
Yeah. Man. I used to cycle really hard.
See, this is why you and I are always like in alignment, because we'll pick a sport and we will go all in. Afterwards, I'm like, and I'm done.
I
was like, Gwendolyn, it's done. I got all
the
money.
I'm not doing 100 miles ever. Well, I don't say ever again, but it is not on my. It's not on my plan.
I know my want I have checked the little boxes like, and Gwendolyn is done. I am perfectly fine. Before we get into our topic, and it's perfect. I love all of this. I do want to share a little bit of news because we like a little bit of news. Yes. So Small Biz Bites, we're on Amazon Music and YouTube Music and Spotify and iHeartRadio. I know, and we are now coming to Indie Soup Media starting tomorrow, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Will be on Indie Soup Media TV. So check them out. They are on YouTube. If you have not signed up or subscribed, please do so. It is Oh man, it's near and dear to my heart. That's all I can say about
Look
that.
at
Go
you.
ahead.
I mean, that was so nice. You saw you had those things coming up out of the.
You know, stick with me, kid, and you can learn some things.
I
You
think
know?
so. You know, you always teaching. You always teaching. I'm always learning from Miss Gwendolyn.
So let me go into this. Let me go into this because I got to thinking about our topic, and we're talking about the joy of evolution.
Mm.
And what I really love, because I am a historian when it comes to photography. I know some people do photography for architecture and fashion and all the things. And Gwendolyn's true deal heart is storytelling and
Mm-hmm.
capturing history, both in still and moving images, so i.e. video.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I started Small Biz Bites, it didn't even have a name. I was just talking to people because G can talk to some people.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, look, let me co-sign on that real quick. I want to play a clip from my very first time chatting with Ron before this platform had a name. This is back in 2021.
Holy crap. Have you lost your marbles? How are you paying? How are you paying the mortgage? How are you paying the maintenance? How are you going to? I started going through these hows.
Yeah.
And I had already really set up things that I need to set up and leading into it. But my life coach called me. She must have felt it in the air. She called me and said, "Hey, Ron, what's going on? How are you doing?" And I said, "I'm having a meltdown in the shower." And she says, "What's going on?" And I said, I keep going back to work. I think I'm going to get my resume going. And she was like, "Your resume? Well, okay. Did you love your job when you were there?" No. Did you like the way things were going when you were there? No. Did you like what's good? And she went through a whole list of questions. And she said, "Okay, do you love your life to now?" Yes. "Do you love what you're doing?" Yes. "Are you living your true being and your true self?" Yes. "Are you pursuing your goals?" Yes. "Okay, it looks like your yes column is doing way better than your nay column."
Yeah. Oh man, your yes column. Yes, I know, right?
Holy
So
moly.
I want you to talk about planning for change, because we know that you made this shift, and it was walking away from a 9 to 5. We say 9 to 5, but a predictable income.
Yes.
And for some people, predictable comfort. And here you are, bearing your soul, that you were like, what did I just do? Tell us about planning for change when we are looking at evolving as persons or creatives, business owners.
Whew, where do I begin? One of the things that I say, you have to look at where you want to go first. It's kind of like, and you work your way backwards. So for me, it was, I wanted to become a photographer. I knew I loved photography. I knew that I was teaching others how to use their photography. And I knew that I didn't have a way of getting there, but I knew that I could get there with some planning. And so opportunities just start happening when I finally, but you know what? Let me go back. It started with, I remember when I was at my job, and my supervisor, or I don't want to say boss, because that's not how we operate in my own company, but she was the person that was in charge of our department. And she was not a nice person. Probably one of the worst people I've met in working, my work conditions, probably in my life. And it was just really a horrible situation. And I remember we had gotten our bonuses for the year. And it was the first time I had ever got so low of a bonus anywhere I've ever worked, and at that company. And this woman made my life miserable every day. She literally targeted me to make it bad. And I remember going home and coming home here at the apartment and just literally crying about it and saying, I can't believe, God, I am stuck in this situation. And this woman is just horrible. Anyway, I've never been one to live in pity parties. I give myself 2 days to do a pity party. I might go 3 if it's devastating. But most of the time, my pity parties will last no longer than 2 days. And after that, I can cry, I can weep, I can kick the cans, I could do whatever I want for 2 days. But then I have to get back up and I have to strategize on what's the next move. And I will never forget, I said, I'm an interior designer. People do use my services on the side. And I say, why not invest in me? And that, because of her, because of my frustration with her, I went and got my LLC. I said, every paycheck, $50 is going towards the LLC. I don't care what I have to do, but every paycheck from this point on is going to the LLC. I am going to start working my way out of this company. And it was interesting because that was in 2011. I did not leave the company until 2016. So
that's good planning, though. That's really good planning.
Yeah, it just started like planning it, putting it into perspective, what I could do. Then I started getting and it was so funny. Once I got my LLC, the first day, it came in the mail. Literally, it was in the mail. Open up the envelope, and it was my LLC package with my license and all the other stuff, the certificate and everything. I said, I have a business. I do have a business. And then within an hour, someone called me from the past, and she says, my daughter's getting married, and I would love for you to design the hall for her wedding. Is it possible you can do that? And I was like, well, I've never designed a wedding before, but you know what? Yeah. But at first I was like, are you sure you want me to do this? She goes, yes. I remember when my daughter was 13 years old and you came to her birthday party, and we got all these flowers from so many people, and you went into our cabinet with all of the glassware, and you created a centerpiece by clipping all the flowers and making this beautiful centerpiece for us to enjoy for my daughter's birthday party. And I thought you were the first person that I would call for my daughter's wedding. You can't even make some of this stuff up when it happens. But that was the beginning. And it so happened that the wedding was at Chelsea Piers here in New York City.
Oh, nice.
And in order for you to do the job, you had to be an LLC. But I was like, you just couldn't go in and just be like, I'm a designer. Yeah. But you had to have your credentials. And then that was the beginning. And I got projects. I started, then a church asked me to do their sanctuary. Then another place wanted me to do this and that. And before you know it, I was making some good money on the side of my job, which when I started to make money on the side, it really didn't matter what this person how she was treating me, because I already had now a plan for my exit plan. I was planning to leave, but I didn't think I was going to leave as a photographer. I thought I was going to leave as an interior designer because that's where I started out. But then what happened was I designed an office in Manhattan. Two beautiful black lawyers, young black lawyers. They were across the street from Madison Square Garden, prime real estate, and they requested that I design their law firm, the interiors. Anyway, long story short, I designed it with all the themes and everything, and then they were like, "Our walls are bare. Do you have anything that we can put on the walls?" I said, "Well, I've done some world traveling, so you know what? Maybe let me just show you some of the photos that I've taken from my travels." And then they said, "Oh, these are the photos. Oh, we'll buy these all. We'll buy them all." And I was like, "They're gonna buy my photos." But for the first time, it's like, okay, someone's gonna buy my photos. And then that's when the connection was to take photos for my interior design business. And that's how I got into seriously doing photography, because it was originally that I can go to different places, take my photos, and then offer them to my clients as I design their spaces. However, my photography began to accelerate way beyond my interior design business. So
you still have both.
So I had both. I had my interior design, I was doing my interior design, and I was doing my photography. And the photography just started to gain traction. And people family and friends were always saying, "Ron, you should take this serious." And I was like, "Yeah, right." But I ended up being in Africa. One of my trips to Africa, I used to go to Africa every year, sometimes twice a year. And I was in Nigeria, and I flew to South Africa, and I was taking pictures, and my friends were like, "Hey, oh my God, these photos are amazing, yada, yada, yada." So I was like, okay. And my buddy was like, "I'm going to plan a trip so we can go to Africa, and you can take pictures." I didn't believe him. And but next thing you know, I got back to the States, and he's like, "I got all these photos. I got the plans. I got the plans. It's going to take 3 weeks. Can you take off for 3 weeks?" And I said, "Let me check." And I went to my boss, said, "Can I take off 3 weeks?" This is years later. Now this is 2016. I have a new boss. She's really sweet. She's a sweetheart. The wretched boss is gone. The new boss is in. Hopefully they won't see this video. But my new boss, she said, "Let me just try to get that, let me see what we can do." Anyway, another bad person in the company said, "Nope, we cannot, he can't do it. We're not giving him this time." And I was asking for 3 weeks when I have 5 weeks vacation. Anyway, long story short, I said, "Okay, no problem." I told my friend to book the trip, and then he booked the trip. And now I was on my way to saying, okay, at the end of the year, I'm going to be leaving this company. But what was beautiful about it is I had already made some plans as an interior designer to kind of like also offer stability when I made this decision. So I had interior design on my hand, and I had photography. So I was able to do both. And so after doing that, I went, booked the trip, gave them the money, and I was like, what am I going to do? Because I have no money. How am I? What am I doing now? It's March, and I got 10 months. It's March, and I got 9 months to get this right. And then that's when I began to create a plan. I started to think about, oh wow, I have equity in my home. I can refinance. I can do this. I can do that. And before you know, there was I can go into. There's so many things that happened during that period. But by the time I got to December 1st, everything I needed was there and ready to go. I had never had professional cameras, but I did. had no money in the account, I did. And that was because of calculated planning, but also being verbal to keep people, mentors and people in my life, family members, that I was like, this is my idea. What do you think? So it was definitely consultation and seeking wisdom along the way as I was making this journey to my new career.
I think about the phrase that I know I've told many a person, and it's a quote, really. I need to find out who actually said it, but at the moment of commitment, the universe conspires to assist you.
Yeah.
Right. So if we just go all in with a little bit of planning, because you got to do a little bit of work.
Planning.
The universe will bring you everything, because it's like the blessing is waiting for you. I just need you to get on board.
You need to get on board.
I need you to go ahead and jump in there. And while we are talking about jumping in there, we got our friend here, Dr. Tachi's in the building.
Dr. Tachi.
In the building. My mama has showed up.
Hey,
Mama is in
mama.
the building.
Hey, mama.
She says she loves that story. David is here over from LinkedIn. David is here this afternoon. Thank you for showing up,
David?
Sir. The story is motivational. Yes.
Well, you know, the whole thing too is it truly was a step of faith.
Yeah.
And the ability to be open for change.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, so you have to have that ability. I've always been accused of, I used to be a youth director here in New York City, and I was responsible for about 500 young people and a staff of 50 people. And some of the young people have kind of like moved with me through life, and some of them are still in my life. And one of the kids was, he's a grown man. He says, "Ron, one thing about you I've always noticed in your life is that you are not afraid to reinvent yourself. You are always reinventing yourself to the moment. As life moves on, you stay current. You keep reinventing and evolving." And I always said I would be that old man when I'm 95 years old. Whatever thing that's out there doing, I will be doing it. If it's a flying machine, I will be on my flying machine flying around the city at 95. I just don't believe in being stagnant. My father used to always say, there's two types of water. You get water that's moving, right? And it keeps replenishing minerals and all that stuff. And then you have water that's not moving, water that stands still. And he used to always say, water that stands still stinks. When water is not moving, it stinks. And I don't know why that was such a profound statement when I was like 16 years old or 15 years old. And it's the truth. I've never allowed myself to stand still. So
I like that idea of using
because things that stand still stink. They're not. They may look good at the beginning, but if you let it stay still for a while, it starts to stink. And not only that, you get the mosquitoes, you get the bugs, you get everything.
Mosquitoes in standing water.
Standing water, right? Mosquitoes don't hang around moving water. They only hang around standing water. So nothing good. Very few. When water is standing still, it's not a good thing.
No.
And so I've always mimicked my life as to water. I think water should be flowing.
This is a perfect segue because we have another throwback. We have another throwback.
I'm not ready.
Get ready.
He pulls me to the side after telling me some amazing stuff. He broke me up in some of the things he shared. I can go into that's a whole other story. But what he did say, we're in the car, he looks back at me and says, "Do you know what fear is?" Now, he didn't know that I already have like the fear board at home with the face underneath. He says, do you know what fear is? And I said, yeah, I know what fear is. When you're scared of something. He goes, no. Do you know what fear is? And I was like, oh, he's getting serious. I was like, this little black old man is getting serious. And he said, fear is false evidence appearing real. I like this.
Yeah.
Come again?
Yeah.
Fear is false evidence appearing real. And I was like, drop the mic, baby. He dropped the mic. This old man dropped the mic on me, and my brain was like, and I said, it's so true.
Yeah.
We fear things that we don't know. We fear because we don't know the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
wow,
man.
that was a good one. I mean, that was when I was living in Africa. For those that don't know, that 3 months request to go on a trip to Africa to photograph the southern region, to go to Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Namibia, also South Africa itself, and Zimbabwe. Yeah, so I got them all in there, and also the Middle East. So what was supposed to be 3 months, 3 weeks ended up being 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And during that 3 months, one of my tour guides in Cape Town took me on a tour, and this gentleman taught me a lot. This gentleman was an older fella, and he was so wise. But we are going to the townships, and people don't, for those that have never been to a South African Cape Town township, is not the most beautiful place to go. People live in rough situations. However, it is one of the happiest places I've ever been on earth. People that have so little but have so much joy. And it blew my mind. But my tour guide took me to his house, in the township. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going into the township. So he pulls us over. I mean, we're in this Jeep, and he looks at me like you just heard, and he just says, son, do you know what the meaning of fear is? And I was like, this is a trick question. Like, where's he going? But it really was it was one of those defining moments in your life that you will always remember.
Mm-hmm.
It was what I call a marker. We have markers in our lives that give us new direction or change direction or give us inspiration or tell us not to go. There's something to stop us. These markers that we have in our lives, they will determine the outcome of where you end up years later. They're so important. And this gentleman, with that statement, really, I was just decompressing. I had just lived in Africa now. I was on my, I think, month and a half. I've been now living in South Africa. And it was interesting because I had finally started to decompress from being an American. I was such an American in my mindset that it took about a month and a half for my brain to just leave America behind, and this is your new life. And so when he shared that, I was like, wow, it's pretty deep. And he says, fear, false evidence appearing real.
Well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Since he gave you that truly an amazing nugget,
mm-hmm.
did it change how you approach and deal with the fears that came up with this new way of living, a whole new career, and just stepping out on your own?
Oh, definitely. It now, because it was no longer I on my board. I have this board. It says fear. It just talks about not fearing. Just don't fear. Work, go forwards, yada yada yada. However, this particular, I'm a person of quotes. I love quotes and I love sayings. I collect I collect quotes everywhere. There are quotes in my phone. There's you obviously, because you see me on my Instagram, you will see that I post quotes every Monday. It's like quote Monday quote motivation quotes. This one was something that was tangible and easy to figure out, easy to see, easy to understand, easy to hold on to. Because to this day, I still use it.
Yeah.
Those moments, it's so interesting. Yesterday, I'll be transparent. I've been in this journey as being a photographer now for 7.5 years. 7.5 years. I thought I would be like, but COVID came along, bills got high, life changes, directions change. It was, and so yesterday I had to sell off some stock so I can pay mortgage and pay rent and all that stuff. So I was like, I was like, God, what is going on? Why am I have to, so retirement looks very bad. I'm going to be working for the rest of my lives. But it's interesting that we're talking about this today, because it was so out of my mind. Every time I've come to a crossroad, I've always go back to those, to that word, fear. False evidence appearing real. And when you are an entrepreneur, when you are a small business owner, when you are trying to create, build, encourage others, bless others, be wherever your mission statement is, there will always be cycles where things are fine, things are great, you're making lots of money, you're doing good. And then there's moments of drought where there's like, where's the work? Where's the jobs? Why isn't there anyone there? And then your fear starts to take hold. Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay the mortgage? Oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? What's going to happen? Blah, 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 blah. And it's so interesting that you would just bring that up, because it's a reminder to me that in this, because this has been a slow month. Financially and everything. But the fear of the unknown will start to rise if you don't check it.
Yeah.
But it's those words that check it, that puts everything in perspective. Fear is the evidence of things, right? Fear is the evidence of what? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh my God, the fear of the unknown. There we go.
False evidence.
False evidence appearing real. Thank you, my dear. False evidence appearing real. I tell you, the older I get, the memory is like, oh my, have you seen?
You love
so
it.
That's why I'm sympathetic to Biden.
All persons who go live and speak.
Yes, we talked about that, right? You're in the middle of a conversation, you're live and you're talking, but false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
And it's very much so. It's very much so. Every time we look at parts of our lives, and when we get that fear, it is the reason why we're afraid. It's because it's the unknown. It's false. We think it's the evidence of what's coming, and it's not. And you just keep moving, because now you understand what the fear is. It's because it's unknown. And so I'm excited. Even with demolishing my retirement fund, I feel I'm at a place of peace, because I've known that I've created a great foundation in my business. I worked hard for these 7.5 years. I am definitely not where I was when we look at the 2020-21 video and where we were in 2022, and so much has I've accomplished so much in the last, since when I left my job in 2016, my circle of influence was just the people I went to work with. That was my fear of an influence. There's a chart about business, about your fear of your circle of influence. And my circle of influence today is thousands of people. I influence people every day.
Well, I want to pause really quick.
You want me to put a pin in it?
Put a pin in it, because
put in that thought.
Put a pin in it. I wanna share some comments, and then I want to show you one last thing, and I'm going to tell you why I put a pause in it.
Okay.
I do want to share here that Serena says, yes, that story is inspiring and lets people know to truly step out on faith and to keep pushing forward. Yes. Dr. Tachi says, wow, not you flying machine at 95, Ron. That could be Ron. We see it. Kim Kimmy says, a great analogy. David says, wow, that's truth. We have Mikey in the building. Howdy, partners. Mikey and I, unbeknownst to him, although I do believe he remembers, we have an apparel deal that as soon as I get my stuff together, we got t-shirts and merchandise coming out. And there's proof of that. So that's why I'm not going to cheat him out of his money. And then David says, election years, fear. Gary says, great journey, Ron, remarkable. But here's why I want to put a pin in it. This is my last question to you. And it's so interesting that although we are literally miles apart, we did not plan this interview beforehand, because that's not how I work.
That's not how we roll.
It's not how we roll. But I pulled this clip and I want you to watch it.
And I was like, oh my, I usually know this technology. I usually keep technology at front of mind. And I did not understand the language that they were using. It was like a different planet. I was so frustrated. I was like, what are they talking about?
Okay, so let me say this. So when I was attending Dreamforce in 2019, President Barack Obama was speaking. And one of the messages I took from his presentation was, you can't know everything. You're not supposed to. But if you surround yourself with subject matter experts, you're going to be all right.
You're going to be all right.
Exactly. Isn't that the truth?
Can we talk about finding partners to surround yourself with? Because my mama, my grandmama, everybody said it. The company you keep. I'm gonna leave it right there. So talk about finding partner, because as you were just saying, your circle of influence, and a lot of us do tend to stick around those that we work with, these colleagues, because we see them every day, like 5 days a week. But when you step out of that and really come into your own and let your personality and your creativity and all of your dreams blossom.
Yes.
How are you finding partners that see more for you than you see for yourself? Because I keep seeing things like, as a manager, when I would manage careers, I would see ideas for people as someone saw for me. And I thought, you see that? And I know that I have given you quite a few ideas.
Oh, yes, you have. You've been
may have been a little slow on starting your car, but we're still here with you. Talk about surrounding yourself with the right partners.
Well, first of all, when I came back from Africa to live here back in the States, I came back home, and one of the things I did, I ended up becoming a member of the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, which now I'm an ambassador to the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, which right after I leave this interview, I will be running to an event this evening that I will be doing my ambassador duties. That is one way that I've expanded my circle of influence. I've met so many people that, and what I mean by people, I mean also business owners, small business owners, people that were just like me or that had been where I am and I needed to go. And they were there to help me along the way, to ask questions. I was totally clueless as a business owner. I knew nothing about being an entrepreneur, not an inkling. And so that helped. Also, because of the Manhattan Chamber and that circle, I ended up joining other networking circles. So it was not only that, but I also joined my community circles, meaning I have an organization. I'm part of an organization here called Fort Greene Community for Entrepreneurs. And we just talk and just share. We just get together and talk. And then I have another networking group that I am a part of, and just connecting with them. Then I created my own circles, meaning I have my meetup group of other photographers that come together. We meet every fourth Saturday. We photograph together in different neighborhoods in New York. So I was like, I need more photographers to hang out with. I didn't see it on a consistent basis, like every month we're going to meet at a certain time. So I created one because I wanted to be with people and connect with people, learn with other photographers. And turned out that group grew. And so we meet and we continue to this day meeting every fourth Saturday of the month. And then now here I am in a online community with my Instagram community began to blossom as I started to come online every day and do my touch base daily and start sharing and building community that way. So, and now I think I have one of the best communities. I mean, we may not be like 1,000 people or 2,000 people in our community, but I love our community. We show up. Everyone shows up. Everyone shows up and connects. And I know. We get together.
We gotta check those words. We gotta check those words. I am fully aware. But let me just.
Yeah, but you know, before you go there, so I've learned there's two ways of building your circle of influence.
Okay.
One is you need to get to know your neighbors. Like my neighbors know I'm a photographer. They know what I do. And because they see me, they see more of me. I'm in the courtyard. I'm talking to people. I'm sharing with them. They see me online. Everybody, you know, I've joined several communities. And then I'm always looking for ways I can help people. So, but not only that, but I always find people say, oh, I'm bored. I don't know anyone. And I say, the problem is when we say something like that is because we're not maximizing our lives to meet people. If I'm a believer, if it's not out there, then I will create it.
Oh, see, I was going there because I was just thinking that when people talk about networking, they often think about what they can get from somebody else. When networking is truly being in service of others.
Yes.
Because the whole idea is, okay, I would like to have a space for photographers to come together, do photo walks, share information, and it doesn't exist. Let me create this space for photographers to come together and share and learn and grow together as a group. Networking is the service of others. It's not about you.
Yeah.
See, we're like, even through this camera lens.
but
coming together.
It truly is amazing. Over this year, I mean, Dr. Tachi's in the room, Gary's in the room, Serena's in the room. There's people in this space that I have become so close with. I talk to most of the people probably in this space than I talk to my own family members. I mean, whether, you know, it's Fifi last night calling me up and, hey Ron, just calling to see how you doing, just checking up on you. And then we end up looking at the RNC convention together by phone. Or, you know, you and I didn't know Fifi 2 years ago. I didn't even know who Fifi was.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's one of my best friends in the world, Dr. Tachi. And like I said, and the list goes on. There's so many people. By seeking to create community, you end up being a part of your own community.
Yeah.
And it serves well. When I'm on ambassador duty this evening, one of the things I always say we're expecting a crowd of 200 people this evening. And one of the things I will end up speaking, because they usually ask me to speak. And one of the things I always say, it's like clockwork. I tell all of the business owners, put your cards away. Right. This is not the place to come and just give out cards. Mm-mm. Don't try to sell yourself. Don't sell your business. Mm-hmm. I always mention, focus on meeting 3 people. That's all. Mm-hmm. Build a friendship and relationship with 3 people. Guarantee if you just stick to the 3, you will remember them when you go home. The card, if you do get a card, you will remember who that card belongs to. And number 3, you're going to most likely follow up with one of the 3 or all 3, because you're not trying to connect with 200 people. Yeah. Most of the time when you collect all those cards, they're going into one place, the wastebasket.
Yeah.
And so again, why do I tell people at the chamber, find 3 people? One is very clear, is very concise, is to the point, but most of us only have the time to be able to impact 3 other people. Yeah. Because it's not what they can do for you, it's what you can do for them. Mm-hmm. Like we talk about all the time, Gwendolyn.
Yeah.
It's about finding 3 people in the room that you can help. Not, can they get my business card so I can get business from them? Ugh. So I think we in the business world, I mean, that's my job as an ambassador. I do a lot of networking. I do a lot of support. I'm there to help. That's why I'm an ambassador, because I help people. There's no greater gift than helping people. And then the business comes. Like, I know I'm going to be there tonight. There's going to be people rolling up on me. Hey, what's up, Ron? How you doing? Long time no see. All the hugs and everything. And I will simply be meeting 3 people. That's all. I mean, obviously I talk to Eric, I'm an ambassador, but I'm going to be focusing in on 3 people this evening that I want to get to know so I can help them.
But that's a great way to talk about evolving, get into throwbacks before we go. I mean, Serena says you're an amazing person, Ron. You're an amazing person.
Thank you, Serena.
And David also shares that, yes, we did meet at a ribbon cutting. We've been talking ever since. Yeah. It's about genuine connections with other people. It's not about selling something, and we don't have time for that conversation.
No, that's a whole nother subject.
Like how to network, because people don't know how to do it. I mean, it's just but before I let everybody and you go, because I know you do have something, I got another commercial. You know, I have a little newsletter. It's not little. Let me not lie like that. But you can get the greatest and latest on the podcast from the GRH Jack newsletter. I think I send out stuff like maybe once or twice a month, because I like to be organized and purposeful with my words and my time. So I don't do it very often, but when I do it, it makes a difference. It's something you want to read. You know what I'm saying? Something you want to read.
And they're very short and they're very to the point. You do not waste words. You do not waste time.
No, Serena says, such great advice, Ron. Connect with 3 people. And Dr. Tashi says, Ron rocks. Hashtag Ron rocks. Thank you, sir, for giving me this
Dr. Tashi.
time. We'll have to do this again, Lord willing, sometime next year.
Yeah, once a year I seem to be coming on.
It's what I do. It's what I. But again.
But before you go there, but Gwendolyn, look at where we've come.
I know, right?
Over the years. I mean, when you think about our first online interviews, because you started this before I did, and so 2021, we had the cranky little cameras and the cranky little
using my phone and that janky Instagram. When it was
janky Instagram, and here we are. We both have great platforms here with using StreamYard. We both have YouTube channels. So yeah, I mean, it's just really, you just stick to your guns and keep growing and keep going. Mm-hmm. Grow and go. I love that. Grow and go. And you really don't know where you'll end up. You just know that you're going to get closer to your destination.
Amen to that. Pastor Ron, somebody better pass the plate, collect this money.
Ching, 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 ching. Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
This is how we are every day, y'all. We're pretty much letting you guys in on how we interact every day.
Oh, thank you, David, for coming through. Thank you, Serena, Dr. Tachi, Mikey, my mama, Tanya, Gary, Spencer, and is this Ari 1990? I don't think I missed anybody. Thank you all. And for all of those who will be watching the replay, thank you as well. Again, tomorrow you can start seeing some of our best conversations from Small Biz Bites on Indie Soup Media TV.
And before we go, also, I gotta do a self-plug here. If you want to follow me, go to Touch Base Daily on YouTube. Yes. Or you can just go to RonLouis Photos on YouTube or any platform, and you will find me, RonLouis Photos. But yes, come over to our YouTube channels. We love you on YouTube. And if you are here in the Gwendolyn space on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Gotta make sure I say that. Okay, I said my piece.
That, sir. You're on my main page. You actually are on my main page of people to follow. Because we gonna support family, you know.
That's right. Ditto. We gonna
support family.
She is my work wife for life.
That'll have to be his own episode.
Yes, I'm so happy to be stuck with you.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. We're gonna wrap this up because I know you got things to do. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see you all next week with another great Small Biz Bites guest. See you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching another episode of Small Biz Bites with Gwendolyn R. Houston Jack, where we chat with other creatives and small business owners about their journey. And we also invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the GR Houston Jack YouTube channel, where you can get the latest and greatest.